It's still morning. Good morning. Good brunch time. Lunchtime. It's a 10:56 here. Hello, everybody. Um, I'm going to do a different kind of live here today, and it's going to be a sensitive subject. I'm going to start off with relationships, what's going on in the world today, and what we can do to help ourselves and help bring us closer to Yahshua, our Heavenly Father. And I got the lights off because, it is, and I can see, but I still need my glasses for reading. It is an 87 degrees today. So I'll wait until at least one person pops in. And this is for educational purposes only. Well, it may shock you what I'm going to share with you. I like Keith Livingston. Um, he tells it how it is. He does not beat around the bush. He talks on what it the Bible tells us in our everyday lives today, what can help us today. And oh, I need to go to YouTube. Probably echoing. Forgot about that. Okay, that's muted. You put a little hello, everyone, which is no one. One? Is there one watching? That's probably me. Okay, let's go back here. These lives, man. Okay, I'm going to get started. You can watch it on the replay or whatever the case may be. I'm going to share with you um, the Genoa Institute. Let me add this to the stage. The T Rose Show. And he's on Rumble. He still has some videos on YouTube, and you can learn about our independence, how the chain of title was broke between the federal papers and the Constitution. It's all there. The research is there. And I have been following him for years. And he's going to speak on a sensitive subject here. And maybe someone needs to hear this. It'll explain a lot of why I am the way I am. So I'm going to share this with you. Let's go in here and let's listen.
That we're going to talk about here in just a minute. More of a warning for people in their personal lives. I've been talking about this for like the last week, and it just keeps coming to me. Say, hey, warn these people, warn them of what's happening. All right, because a lot of people don't believe in hell, and I'm not here to convince you. You can go get all the stories yourself. I don't have to convince you of that. All I can say is this: it says certain things in the book that you need to know. So I'm going to talk to you about it. Now, let's see what we got here. All right, let's go to Matthew. Okay, hold on one second. I'm read a couple of things just to get the idea. Um, hmm. I don't know what it is with the internet, but it's just every time you click something, it's weird. Okay, now it's coming to men um in dealing with their issues. Okay, a lot of them have pornography issues, which is tearing the country apart. And I want you to understand that there comes a huge price for that. There is a huge price with it. I'll show you why. If you go to the King James version, it says, "But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman with to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." Now remember, after Yeshua died and was resurrected, he was telling people this is an issue of the heart. This is not an issue of sin. Okay? This is not an issue of you committing sin. You all committed sin. I committed sin. That's not the issue. The issue is a heart issue. It's the fact that you don't love. You don't have agape love in you. You have filial love. Filial love does not have the ability to love. It's not love. All right. So keep that in mind. And like I said, I'm not bringing up religion because that's not the issue. The issue is, why are you at war with your Father in heaven? Why are you born under the dominion of the devil and then continue to do his works all the days of your life? And then in judgment time, you're like, well, you're going to sit there and start stammering because you really didn't do anything because your faith is dead. And this has been said many times. Messages coming back and forth from people who have died, people who have had dreams, people who have had visions, trying to tell you, hey, the issue is your heart. The issue is love. It's nothing else. Okay? However, there's a couple of things that will send you to hell. Sleeping with a lot of women because you have no self-control. Okay? It's better to marry because of the whoring. I'm going to read that to you here in a minute. But blaspheming the set apart spirit. Those are the two things that will send you to hell directly, even if you have faced Jesus. You don't do this because it's non-repentance. This is a heart issue, not anything else. So let me go ahead and read these sections. All right, this is 1 Corinthians 18, 6, chapter 6, 18. Flee whoring is what he tells you. Every sin that a man does is outside the body, but he who commits whoring sins against his own body. See, it's specific that way. All right. So all the sin that you commit can be, the blood can be washed from you. I mean, his blood will cleanse you from that. But you have to repent at the same time. In other words, say you were watching TV and some half-naked woman comes on there. If you got the set-apart spirit in you, you're not going to feel that. That you don't want to even think anything of it. It doesn't even affect you. Okay. Most men will say, whoa, hold on a second. Let's pause, and then they start staring and all this other crap. That's lusting after them and everything else. Okay. Guys, it's just a woman. It's nothing new. Just a woman. So you have to stop worshiping them. That's number one. You don't worship them. And essentially, they don't respect you if you do. They're going to use you to the for all your money and everything you got. They're going to use you up, and then they're going to spit you out. Okay? Don't do that. So, or do you know that your body is the dwelling place of the set-apart spirit who is in you? That's when you're baptized in the set-apart spirit. Okay, which you have from Elohim. And you are not your own. All right. So what you're basically doing is, and this is how this looks, or what this looks like. It's like you just sitting right there in the front of the Father's throne, laying some chick out and start doing it right there. That's just what you're doing. You got to stop that. For you are bought with a price, therefore esteem Elohim in your body and your spirit, which are of Elohim. So you've been bought by Yeshua. I keep telling people that he owns you. You were bought by him. He paid your debt. You owed a debt, which brought about condemnation because you couldn't pay it. It's not your fault that you couldn't pay it, but you just couldn't pay it. Doesn't matter about fault. It doesn't matter about who's this or who's that. What matters is that you couldn't pay it and someone else did. He owns you. When you're bought by somebody, that means they own you. Concerning the matters you wrote to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. But because of whoring, let each one of us have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband, which is what everybody dreams about anyway. So why don't we just go there? Why don't we take this generation and say, you know what? We would like a wife and she would like a husband. Why don't we just go back to that and stop all this other crap? Let's turn the porn off. It's all being put out there by Khazarian Jews anyways. The ones that are serving their father, the devil. The ones that Yeshua warned you about. He essentially warned the whole world about. They're the ones that created the pornography. They're the ones that have gone to this LGBT stuff. They're the ones that are promoting every bit of it. They're the only ones that have the money because they're controlling your money. So stop letting them control your pants, okay, your zipper. Don't invite them in. Okay. All right. Now let the husband render to his wife what is her due, and likewise also the wife to her husband. Okay. So the wives, you're not to be turning him down. If he needs something, you're there to satisfy that. Okay. There's no, oh, I don't feel like it today. We don't need that crap. Now, men, do the same thing. Take care of her. Okay. So she's not looking at other men. She doesn't need all that. Also, going down the narrow way yourself, you can also get agape love, and it's much better than it is if both of you are having so-called filial love in you, and filio actually isn't love at all. All right. But here it is. Now, let the husband render. Okay. Now, the wife does not have the authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. If she wants some, boys, pony up. Same the other. If he wants some, pony up. Let's go. That way there's no issues between you. It also helps you be stronger, and all that. Variety of women is an addiction. You got to realize that when you're going from one woman to another, that's an addiction, because that addiction is the same thing that happens in porn, the same thing that happens everywhere when it comes to this subject matter, is that, oh, there's something different. Oh, there's something different. There's something different. But when you figure it out, you're going to realize it's all the same if you think about it the way it is. So it causes you to go internal. The truth does. Because why? This is a matter of the heart. This isn't a matter of who has what, or this is bigger than that. That's not what it's about. It's not about this world. It's about what's in the heart, in the spirit. You have to realize this. And this will help you on your way out when you have the set apart spirit placed in you. If you're baptized with a set apart spirit, you'll know when you have him, when he's there. Okay, do not deprive one another except with agreement for a time to give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again so that Satan does not try you because of your lack of self-control. And I say this as a concession, not as a command. Okay, for I wish that all men were even as I myself, but each one has his own gift from Elohim, one in this way and another in that way. And I say to the unmarried and to the widows, it is time for them if they remain even as I am. But if they do not have self-control, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. It is better to marry than to burn. He's talking about Hades. He's talking about hell. Back then, it was paradise and Hades. When it came to Abraham, Abraham was in paradise, and all the rest were in Hades for non-believing. That's a huge penalty. And I'm here to tell you, it's not worth it. As a man that has gone through it, it's not worth it. No one is worth burning in hell for. I don't care what you think it is, it's an addiction. And addictions can be stopped and quit. Ladies too. Ladies have been going around, their numbers are like 100 to 150 different men. Horrible. Who's going to want that? Nobody. You're stuck in whoredom your whole life, and then you will go into Hades, in hell. Today you call it hell. Back then they called it Hades. And you burn the rest of your days. Forever. Okay? So I don't care if you believe the Father will do this or not. Here's the thing. Okay? You'll figure out that he's right. Number one, to do what you needed to do. Number two, Yeshua is right there. I'm not trying to scare you into anything. I'm telling you the truth. This is what's written in the book. Okay? And the issue is in your heart. All right, the issue is within the heart. I'm going to repeat that. I had to pause it for a minute. So you got to figure out why you're going from man to man, and you got to figure out why you're going to woman and woman to woman. There's something that's missing there, and I know for a fact you don't want to do it, but something drives you to do that. All right. It drives you. Don't know why, but you got to figure out what's in your heart that's causing you to defile yourself like that every day. It's not what it's cracked up to be. The whole stripper joint, the whole porn industry, the whole everything. That's serving the devil, man. And you know it. You know what you're doing. You don't want to do it. So you got to reach out to our Father in heaven. You got to reach out to Yeshua. Invite that man into your life, and he'll pour in the set apart spirit in you so you can stop all these things. Now, I don't gain anything by you. I don't gain or lose anything by you going to Yeshua. I don't get paid. There's nothing. I'm just telling you where I was, and I'm telling you what is true. And I'm telling you that if you're half a man or half a woman, okay, I don't care what it is. If you got whatever you were hurt with, I don't care if you were raped when you were a child. I don't care. What matters is that you get that taken care of. You face those issues that you have. There is no excuse for you going around and popping a bunch of women or men. You don't have any right to do that. There's no excuse for going out with someone's husband or going out with someone's wife, cheating with them. Not good. It's not a good thing. Now, I'm just letting you know that if there's a really bad, like a serious abuse thing going on and all that kind of stuff, you have the right to leave. You do have the right, and you can seek out someone else. You have the right to leave. Because that's it doesn't do anybody any good to sit there and deal with either mental abuse or physical abuse or anything like that, or somebody is hooked on drugs. I'm gonna tell you why. If you're going out with somebody who is hooked, okay, say on coke, weed, liquor, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. They are having a relationship with that. If they are not willing to leave that, then you have the right to leave. Okay? If you have a right to go and seek out somebody else who is seeking repentance themselves. They want to repent. In seeking our Father in heaven and having a relationship with Yeshua as a brother. I'm telling you right now, about 98% of the people in the world know of Yeshua, but they don't know him. And that's an issue. Got to deal with that. So, just telling you, that's the best place to start. It helped me when I stopped everything that I was doing. And it's, I'm telling you, I've been there. So you're not dealing with a virgin priest here. I'm better than no one else. And if I can do this, you can do this.
I was muted. Anyway, I have been. Okay, it's on now, right? Is it on now? I unmuted it. So I'm going to put the link up here. And if anyone wants to come in and talk about it, then you're very welcome to, because I believe this is something that is bad in our country today. The porn, it's just, and then I can explain to you, I got to pin it, why it applies to me and why I have been on my own for 32 years now. I don't have the desire. I am, like he said, be like him, single women and widowers. You want to be like Jesus, be like that, then do it. But if you get that desire, or if you want to go out there doing that, then you should get married. It's better to get married. And I don't have that desire. I have not had it. I had a very abusive marriage. I always joke around and say he cured me. He cured me all right. So, and I know other people are going through rough times now. It's hard to be married. sometimes. It is really hard. And like he said, the wife does not own her own body. Her husband does, and vice versa. The husband does not own his. And with everyday life and the things that have been thrown at us over the years, women having to work and stuff, it's very hard. It is very hard. And it's something that we have to work on. So that explains a little bit about why I am on my own. I always say I stand strong on my own. And if I was to ever, I would get married. I would get married. And Keith helps teach you in correlation today. It's good to learn the Bible, God's word, but how does it apply to your today? How does it apply? How does it help you? How do you find the answers that you need? So, and I know he's straightforward. He doesn't beat around the bush. And that's what I like about him. You can understand. He talks to you. You can understand. And he goes to his Bible for guidance. And that's what we're supposed to do. That's why it's there. So, does anyone want to come up? 2 people have dropped off. So then I could share this with you. And now this is going to shock you. And the truth, gosh, I've done so much research. I know he left you, and you have that right to move on and find love. You have that right. Now, I don't know what the 29 years was like with him. Mine was a very abusive marriage. Oh my gosh. And I'm not going to say he just, I was always taught you're taking meds. Well, but it's like he said, you got to let go of that. Echo, let go of that. I had to let go. Okay, for a colonoscopy. Oh, I'll be praying for you, Carol. I hope everything goes okay. But Echo, we got to let go of that. I had to let go of so much because it's hard when your heart gets broke, because we were always raised, you got married, you had children, you stayed together forever. And I've been married twice. First time I got married out of high school, and he messed around on me. And I just could not forgive that at that time. Or it's not even about forgiving. It's about believing when he said, I love you. Did he ask for forgiveness? No. He said he was sorry. But just couldn't trust it. I could not trust that anymore because I would never do that. It's a given. You just do not mess around on your wife or your husband. You just don't do it. And you don't mess around with a married man or a married woman. You just don't do it. It's just, who does not know that? I mean, so both of them turned out to be what I call dogs. It's an addiction. The first one wasn't as bad. The second one, he was addicted. Not to only that, but other things too. So I took my kids and I left. I felt I had the right to get out of that kind of situation. Even though in mom and dad's generation, they stayed married no matter what, and they did through thick and thin. Divorce was taboo back in that day. You got to remember that. So, but I could not live like that. I could not. Well, I know he hasn't acknowledged what he did, but we have to let them go. It's in the past. Let them go. Move forward from there, and don't let them affect you on your relationship today, because you and Dave love each other, and our past can have a lot of effect on our present. So we have to let it go. We have to let it go, come to terms with it. And like you said, happiness is, and we got to decide to be happy. And I decided to be happy, and I am happy on my own. I know it's hard. Do you want to come up here? I know it's hard. It is hard. I mean, you go through the stages of grief after something like that happens. But I took my 3 little kids. He wasn't going to let me leave. My mom had to call his mom and threaten to call the news, because he left with the only vehicle. And his mom brought us groceries. So it's a good thing I had my mom. My mom was a strong woman. She was married to my dad for 60 years. And, she put up with a lot, and so did my dad. But never adultery did that ever come in. They never did that to one another, which I'm grateful for. Yes, happiness is a choice, but still the past sometimes just creeps in. You just got to hear maybe one song, something just pops up that reminds you of that, and boom, you're right back there. But it gets easier over time. It's been 32 years. I left him in 92 and never looked back. And it gets better over time. And then it's not that I'm ready to get in another relationship and get married. I have no desire for that. None. I don't have the sexual desire. I just don't have that desire. And I'm not going to go out there and get married because that's what we're supposed to do and pretend. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen, because the duties of a wife is explicit. What God says a wife should do and what a husband should do are there. And it's when we don't do those things, unless you're involved with a man who is just addicted, like he said, addicted, then you need to get out. You need to get out. I was married the second time for 23 years. He had a relationship with a woman for a year. And I caught him, and to this day, he never said he was sorry. Yes, see, and you have the right to get out of that, because I was always raised, you don't get a divorce. It's through better or worse. And that's not true. You have the right to get out of an abusive, because that's abusive. If he does not turn from those ways, then you have the right to move on and find somebody and marry somebody that will do the Father's word just like you. And that's a lot of what I wanted to bring in this. I struggle with that for so long. I've been divorced twice, and I struggled. I struggled. Gosh, you're supposed to get married, have kids, stay together forever. And I used to ask Mom and Dad, why didn't you tell me that there were cheaters out there? And it is, to me, the worst thing you can do to a marriage is that. Yes, I know. You would have stayed married to him. I thought the same thing too. I thought, well, I can stay with him for the kids' sake, but then it was my mom that said, no, Val, you cannot do that. And my mom had been married to my dad for a long time. You can learn a lot. And there were things that mom wished she had done different. Like she was a stay-at-home mom. She, after dad was gone, she wished she had gone to work, at least worked. And, you know, but he brings up a good point about the porn in today's world. And if you're involved with a man that thinks that is okay, turn around and walk out and do it now. Don't even think that you're going to change that, because you're not. It's like he said, it's a heart problem. It's what's in his heart, not your heart, his heart. So don't settle for it. Don't settle for it. And I don't even know why I decided to do a live on this today, but I'm not the same person I was back then. Now I would not stay. Yes, I know that. And Dave loves you. I'm in a relationship now, but it's companionship only. He is very sick of cancer. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Belinda. I will certainly keep you in my prayers. No, you cannot change a person, but you can change yourself, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to. God doesn't. What's important here is God doesn't want you to stay in that kind of relationship. And we've been taught that he does. And if someone wants to rebuke that and come on here and tell me and help us understand, then do it. Because I never thought that God would want me to stay in that kind of relationship and live, because I couldn't help him. He had to help himself. It's what was in his heart and his soul. So that's why I've been standing on my own for 32 years. It's not that I don't even know how to explain that. It's just, I don't have the desire, so there's no reason for me to be married, because I've always thought if you want to have sex, then you get married. You get married. You don't do it unless you're married. Don't do it. And that's how I've always believed and thought it was for me. Now, it's not the same for everybody. So that's what I wanted to share. Yes, God wants you to be happy, but part of being happy is following his word as well. If you live by what he wants you to do, you will, and both of you, both man and woman, you both have to do what God says to do. It's not what you want to do. Doing what God tells you to do will certainly help that relationship be happy. You to be happy and your husband to be happy. No, sex is not the answer, but it is part of a man's duty, a husband's duty, and a wife's duty. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And if you do not want to have sex or fulfill his needs, then you shouldn't be married. That's just how I feel. Yes, we have to change ourselves. We can't change. It's what's in our heart. He says it's not a sin problem. It's a heart problem. It's a heart problem. But the Bible does give us the duties of a man, of a wife, and a husband. That's just all there is to it. And we it's just how it is. And I'm glad I don't have to do. Oh, I just don't have that. I'm not that kind of person. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't want it. I don't. So I stay single, but I don't go out. I don't date. I don't do any of that. Nope. I don't do it. I just stay. And that's what I wanted to explain also is that's why I've been on my own for so long. So it's a choice. But now if I was to ever think, okay, then I would get married. So, but yet Belinda says sex isn't the answer, but it is a part of a marriage and it needs to be taken care of between a husband and a wife. I mean, that's how we all got here, is through sex. We wouldn't be here. So, but in today's world, the porn is destroying it. It can destroy your country. It can just wreak havoc on a society. So stay away from it. It's, look deep in your heart and realize that it's not going to do you any good. And if you're involved with someone that thinks that is, then don't stay. Get out. Get out. You deserve to be happy. You don't have to stay through abuse and adultery. You don't have to stay. You don't have to. And I used to think you had to. The marriage vows, for better or for worse. You don't have to stay in a relationship like that. I wasn't looking or dating before I met Dave. I think we were two lonely people who God brought together. And he probably did. He did. He brought you together, and now you're together. But you have obligations to each other. And you can't let that past relationship affect your relationship now. You got to let it go. Let it go. Deal with it. Come to terms with it and let it go. And take that first step forward with him. Don't let the man in your past affect your relationship now. Let it go. Let it go. And it will, you two have love for each other. Only you know that. And gosh, you guys are just a blessing to one another. You love one another. You care for one another. So that's what I wanted to share. And there's other parts. It's not only he has the Narrow Way series. You can go on Rumble. I will post a video, but you can also look up the T. Rose Show on YouTube. And he has done a lot of research and found a lot of things about our country. And everybody says, they pray, please heal this land. And I forget the prayer. But a lot of people aren't even facing the fact that we have criminals running our government, running our country. And we need to face that so we can clean up our backyard and we can then turn to the Lord and God, and he will heal this land. He is not, because to turn your head against it is the same as to do it. And when good men do nothing, evil flourishes. And it's been flourishing. And I don't care what anyone says. DC is a crime syndicate. And the military works for them, not for you. See, I'm getting a little, because it's true. And until you can accept that fact and quit turning your head, and we need to do something about it, then God will heal our land. He's not going to heal our land while we have criminals doing what they're doing to other countries, to people here. So that's what I got to say about that. That's a whole difference, and I have done a lot of research, and it has to be done. They have to be taken out of power, because your representatives are supposed to be your store clergymen, the person that works down at the restaurant, the farmer, your neighbor. We're supposed to represent each other, not career politicians. That's what a republic is. And once we become a republic, we can take the politics out of government. The government's job remains the same. And then you have a republic. And then the people can start taking care of each other. That's just how I feel about it. It's our own fault, because we were supposed to be the checks and balances for them. They have stepped so far out of their constitutional enumerated powers, it's not even funny. And we let them, because we were supposed to keep them in check. We were supposed to. Not them. I don't know who people think. Not a president. Trump's not going to keep them in check. Biden's not going to keep them in check. It's our job to keep them in check. Not theirs. It's ours. So we need to do something to stop the criminal activity in this country. The U.S. is the leading country for trafficking children. My gosh, and the proof of that is out there. How can we not do anything about that? It just blows my mind. So until we do something about that, then you can say the prayer. Then God will bless this land, because we have to do it. We have to stop it. We have to turn it around. It's up to us. We got to clean up our own backyard before we start going over there in other countries. We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to clean up their backyard and take their resources. We're supposed to clean up our backyard. Military, you're supposed to defend this land from invasion. And we are the militia. We are supposed to defend our own land and fight for our freedom. So, see, you got me going off on a tangent. This is going to be a real interesting. I mean, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. Anyway, I wanted to help bring Keith to you, because Keith does not beat around the bush. He tells it like it is, and it applies to today. Yes, I love reading my Bible and studying my Bible, but how does it apply, and how do I use it to help me with what's going on in my life today? How do we use it to find the answers to what's going on in our country today? That's what I believe it is there for. So I'm going G. Yeah, but anyway, you could learn so much from Keith. Yes, you could learn so much, but Now, do not let your cognitive dissonance get in the way of what you think you've been taught and what we've been taught. Do not let that get in the way and say, oh my God, and then turn it off. That was the hardest thing for me to do when I first started researching was, no way, that's not what we were taught. And then I'd turn it off. Well, it kept coming back to me. God kept putting it on my heart. Okay, so I kept researching. And then finally I made it through that cognitive dissonance and kept listening. Then I would research and I would find out, and the truth is out there and you will find it. You will find it. And then it's true. The truth will set you free. It will set you free. And it's just, it awakens you to a point where you can do something about it. We can all help each other to do something to change our country, because I'm proud of this country as a people and what it's supposed to stand for. We have just been usurped. Our republic has been usurped by a bunch of criminals, every single one of them. I don't care, red, blue, it's all there. They're criminals. They have violated our Constitution on a daily basis. And we have to do something about it. We have to do something about it. That's the only thing that's going to bring God back to our land and bless this country and heal this land. But we first have to open our eyes to what's going on. You have to be able to see what's going on from what, just accept it, from what we've been taught just accept it, pay your taxes, all this stuff. That's why nothing has been done. And I don't know if my generation or this generation will be able to do anything about it either. But finding out and learning the truth is the first step, because you can't do anything without knowing what's been done. So, but getting past that cognitive dissonance is a hard thing to do, but you can do it. You can do it. Okay, so I'm going to get off of here now. I'm going to head back outside and work. And I got the light off because it's cooler. I'm on my own now, so I don't want to run the AC. And, just one little light can add the heat, let me tell you what. So thank you for stopping in, and let me know if you want to do a live about Keith. I'm gonna be sharing his stuff because I think people need to know, and he can tell you things that you need to hear about what's going on, because the American people would not your true American people that want to live freely would not go for what the crime syndicate in DC is doing, and have been for years, way before I was born. It goes way back. It goes way back, guys. It goes way back. So anyway, I was hoping to help someone with the marriage thing and the love thing and all of that stuff, and help you understand me a little bit more and why I have been on my own. And, I'm not looking for it, so thank you for stopping in. And look, I made it 54 minutes. I got to get used to doing these lives. I love you too, Carol. I love you very, 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 very much. Bless your heart. And I love you, Echo. And Belinda. I watched Belinda's video with, I can't remember her name. And she was singing. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Bless you too, Belinda. You have a very loving and caring heart. So I'm going to get off of here. I will. I will have a great day. You have a great day too. And we need to go over to Echo's Channel Living, My Best Life at 60, and keep her in your prayers. She's going to be undergoing a weight loss surgery procedure. So we need to be with her when that happens, and she's going to need all the love and support she can get. So I love you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye.